Stevie Wonder got a brand new one. It's hitbound and it's going clear out of sight. Everybody's so civil and so heavyweight, and I'm so happy to put it upon to you here on the Scooter Seagrave Show. You know I was made to love her. Right here at 5.
My name is Steve Clem, and I work at KWGS 89.5 here in Tulsa. And I wrote and produced a documentary, a radio documentary, on the Big 97 KAKC radio.
Well, we heard about the wonderful documentary that had been done on the history of KAKC radio, and were approached by Steve Clem and some other people that had been involved in that project with the idea. And they had already put together such a wonderful history and collected lots of photos about the history of the radio station. And what a fun story to share with the community of Tulsa.
A gentleman named Todd Storrs in Omaha, Nebraska started doing, he invented Top 40 radio, and it really just kind of spread like wildfire through the country. And Tulsa was one of the early stations to adopt Top 40 in 1956. And it was very revolutionary and different than anything else on the radio, and it attracted a very wide audience. And it put KAKC on top, and they stayed there. Really, for 10 straight years, they were the #1 station in Tulsa, hands down.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Lee Bailey.
KAKC Tulsa.
6 o'clock at the Big 97 on a solid gold weekend. Good morning to you.
The DJs were celebrities, and so when you talk to a Mike McCarthy or a Scooter Seagraves or a Dick Schmitz, those guys, you know, they were out in the community all the time doing things like there was an annual Easter egg hunt that drew thousands of people. They had it either at Chandler Park or Mohawk Park, depending on the year. There were just lots of opportunities for people to interact with this radio station.
At 6 o'clock, I'd come on the air and I would go through this rap every morning. And I don't know if I can do it now, but thank God we have editing. And it was, good morning at 6 o'clock. I'm Mike McCarthy, your fab gear, super psychedelic boss, heavy major market electric, super freak out rock and roll disc jockey today with cheap thrills, hot flashes, the McCarthy meter, and lots more stuff. And this was over the intro to a record. It was usually something that was about 20 seconds so that I could get all of that through. Now, if I got through it without screwing up, well, then I knew that today was going to be a pretty good show. If I didn't, I knew that everybody was laughing at my screwing up, so either way it worked.
Nothing evokes the 60s like music. And if you were in Tulsa in the 60s and you were talking about music, you were talking about KAKC radio. So it was the perfect topic to share.
Everybody and their brother that was coming through town would show up on the show. I mean, we'd have Eric Clapton one day, and then, of course, Leon Russell, and Gaylord Sartain would show up every once in a while. With Gaylord, bless his heart, Gaylord, just a great guy, but he wasn't really good at getting up in the morning. So I'd say, okay, Gaylord, we're going to do the interview at 7 o'clock. He'd show up at 8 o'clock, but that was the time we did the interview, so it worked out pretty well for everybody.
If there was something going on newsworthy in Tulsa, KAKC was on the spot with a live report. And so they got this reputation of you had to listen to KAKC if you wanted to know what was going on in Tulsa.
This broadcast presented by Ellis Home Appliances, your Philco Appliance Theater at 57 North Lewis. I'm Harry Wilson. This is the news. KAKC News Alive at 55. This hour's top news from Tulsa's #1 news station.
I think it was 1975. The record promoters were really good at telling us about new music. And they said, hey, there's this guy that's going to be playing at Magician's Theater, and I want you to check him out. He's from Asbury, New Jersey, and we're listening to him. He is just rocking. I mean, it's just spectacular. And sure enough, it was Bruce Springsteen. So Springsteen, it was his first tour in the U.S. outside of New Jersey, and he was at the Magician's Theater.
The exhibit will be up through June of this year. And so people still have plenty of time to come and see it and share their own memories from the 50s through the 70s. We had a lot of people that shared their own photographs with us from the time period when they were growing up, and also people shared their clothes and household furnishings from the 60s. So when you step into the gallery, it really feels like you're stepping back in time.